What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, girl. Girl, I should have cleaned my glasses before I started. I was like, let me start. I'm not gonna have nothing to do. I'm just gonna get started. I'm not gonna do anything. Happy Monday. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend. Just had a relaxing weekend. My kid did his senior trip. They went to Disneyland over the weekend. Girl, they did a turnaround to Disneyland. They left Friday night, got there Saturday morning, stayed all Saturday, left Saturday night, and came back. And they got home early Sunday morning. And they had a good time. They had a good time. So it was fun. It was fun for him. He had a good time. He went on the different rides and stuff like that. And he was like, Disneyland is like more for kids. And I'm like, yeah, Disneyland is literally for your inner child. It's like literally for your inner child. Once you get past a certain age, you're only going to like tend to that inner child. That's what Disneyland is literally for. And so he said he had a good time. They had a good time. All his friends, the other schools were there, of course. So he saw his other friends that went to other different schools, different high schools after elementary school. So he saw them there too. And so yeah, they're really excited. It was a really exciting time. And then what else did we do? My other son, we just hung out. We just hung out. Um, did our thing. Ran errands that we normally have to do over the weekend. I went to the Sunday, spent my day in the park. So did I watch anything? I did. What did I watch? I tried to watch Four Seasons. It looks like it's pretty interesting. Like I had it playing like in the background while I was doing something else. It was just okay. And then I started watching. It was a true crime story about a woman, and her father. They, in a domestic violence dispute, the girl and her father, the husband, they terminated the husband. The father's 911 call was like, I think y'all need to come over here for what? It's a domestic violence situation. And yeah, y'all need to come over here because we took the nigga out, basically. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. That's what I was watching. And let's see, what else? What else did I do? That's pretty much it. Just went to the park, watching people play soccer, chilling in the park. Online with the Diddy and things of it all the situations happening in media right now that are really showing how people feel about women and how women feel about women. I feel a lot of women are we'll talk about that in another video, but like a lot of women are watching other women actively like support violence against women. And that's why I say you have to watch out. You have to watch out. You have to be mindful. And you have to listen to people. A lot of women are in defense of it. In defense of it. But next week they'll be yelling, "Protect Black women." But this week they're in defense of men who harm women, trying to make excuses for men who harm women. So um, a lot of people are getting like this wake up call as they're looking at people around them, like, oh, this is kind of like any situation. You can see like where a person stands, and it's like, oh, your value system and my value system aren't harmonizing. So yeah, I don't need to be around people like you. I've been seeing so many people saying like they're blocking people, block. I think it's the same thing that happened during R. Kelly. Was that thing? I don't know. Anyways, we're down here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? I didn't want to spend too much time on the intro. I think we're good. So last night I just tweeted about it. I didn't take any notes. So we're going to go by my tweets and hopefully I can remember everything because I just watched it last night. It came on last night and then I didn't do much afterwards. So I kind of still have the scenes and stuff in my head. And so, how it goes. So let me get. So Charles and Angela, they go out. Angela looks like, I said, ooh, Angela. Angela looks so pretty. When I tell you, she looks so pretty. And then, I don't particularly like the antennas that the girls be wearing down, the little limp antennas that just come on. I know people wear their hair like that. The girls wear their hair like that. I don't have any hair. I know y'all like, girl, you don't even have any hair. Shut up. Bald headed scallywag. But I don't like them. I still don't like them. I still don't like those two little things they just look like two little tired antennas is what they look like. Even though she looked ravishing. She looked so beautiful. The color she had on, her hair, it was just everything. It just looked, even it was like the part in her hair was just so perfect. I was like, yes, Angela. She looked really good. She even looked good in her interview. She had like burgundy. No, he had on burgundy. His suit looked nice. She had on red. And they were just basically talking about the relationship with her family and how she's going to mend that relationship. He was basically telling her it's not worth to go back and forth with why do you keep going back and forth? Stop going back and forth with people. It's not gonna heal itself, basically. um I don't like, I know that some people, people have their different relationship dynamics on how they relate to their partner. And sometimes, for some people, when they watch a, a couple, their dynamic seems like they're bickering, right? So you have those couples that love to bicker, right? And they have this thing where they go back and forth with each other, saying little smart things to each other, trying to get each other together, see who can have the best last word. It's a back and forth, right? Some people have relationship dynamics with their partners like that. So when people are on the outside looking in to your relationship dynamic, to where it looks like the man is not on your side, it looks like he's always playing the devil's advocate in situations. It always looks like he is um not annoyed, but I don't know if it's annoyed, but always looks like he's like over the conversation, like, okay, God, like, I done already told you I don't want to talk about this again. That's the kind, and he does it with a smile on his face. And so it seems like they're just bickering, but it comes off rude, and he comes off like a grumpy old man. And when they were sitting in their interview, the producer said, "Do you love Angela?" And he was like, he didn't even say yes. He didn't immediately respond. Huh? You love Angela.
She don't want people to think you don't love me.
And I don't even remember what he said. What did he say? Huh? And then she said something, Charles, can you have my back, or have my back? Charles, have my back.
Charles, have my back.
I can sit behind you.
Because it's like you come on. I know we have this relationship. I don't know. They have this relationship where they go back and forth. We've seen the dynamic, but when it comes off to us, it looks like he's not. It doesn't seem like he's supportive. That's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like he's a supportive partner. But we don't know their relationship. Cynthia and Shamila go out. Cynthia looks so good. I said, God damn. Cynthia is beautiful. Angela's beautiful. Cynthia is beautiful. I liked her wig this episode. I don't know much about wigs, but y'all tell me, what do you call it when you make it look like the strands are coming out of your head when you first when you first get the wig? What do y'all call it? Pluck? Maybe it's almost like a plucking thing that y'all do to make it look like it's actually coming out of the head. For Cynthia, so what I've been noticing, see, I'm not an expert because I'm bald headed, right? But what I'm watching women and men do their wigs. For Cynthia, I felt like it could have been back a little bit more. I feel like the part started like right here. And I feel like for real, parts kind of start a little back because of the hair when you kind of like pull it back. Do I have it right? Because Cynthia's was real cute. The hair was cute. The whole little thing, it was like big. Like it gave me like, "Am I was a king of the forest." It was giving me Cowardly Lion tease. You know what I'm saying? It was real big and fluffy. Girl, Cowardly Lion. Girl, exactly. I'm going to get on Cynthia. Let's start. Anyway, so see how long I talked about Cynthia being beautiful, because she is beautiful, but her wig was, I felt like the part could have went back a little bit more, like a little bit more. Let me know if I'm off, or what did it look right for the girls who do the wigs and stuff, for the girls and the girls who do the wigs. So anyway, so they sit down at the bar. Even Shamila's hair was cute. Her little hair was cute too. It was very cute. I love a little pixie, curly, curly, curly. I love it. I love Shamila's hair too. So they sit down and Cynthia was like, "Girl, ooh, last night was something else." Because last night was pampered by Porsha and her burlap sheets. So she was like, "Girl, yes, I had to call. Shamila says, I had to call my mom. I sent my mom a text message, and I was just telling her how I felt and how I needed her to pray for me, right?" And so she reads the text message that she sent to her mom, and Cynthia was like, mm. Cynthia just look at that. Mm. You know, Cynthia will give you like, she'll give you what you need, but it always seems to fall just a little bit short. But anyways. So so Cynthia says, you and Portia's relationship, we was not expecting this to happen, and blah, blah, blah. So Shamia is basically in the scene saying that, yes, she has spoken to the girls about Porsha, but it was always in kind of a response to them asking her questions about their relationship and her kind of straightening them out, right? And like saying like, when they're like, "Girl, don't you feel like she did this? Don't you feel like this?" Like everybody else has been telling her, she says that she kind of straightens it out and she doesn't let them talk badly about Porsha. She did not think, I guess she did not think that they were going to bring the grievances to Porsha and be like, "Girl, well, she said when we talked to her about your relationship, this is what she said." Right? So to me, I feel like Shamia is playing a game, and I'm gonna get into her, and then I'm gonna get into Cynthia. Shamia is being passive aggressive, is what I said. Shamia does this thing where, because we're gonna say how both of these people need to be accountable for how they are showing up in the relationship. It's not just Porsha, right? Shamia. Shamia is a self-proclaimed people pleaser. And what do people pleasers do? And you'll see it all the time, and a therapist will tell you, they smile, right? They smile, they're people pleasing, but when they get mad, when they feel, because they always have to have a smile, and you've probably seen it in movies, right? Where they have a smile on their face, they're people pleasing, and they're like, "God damn it, motherfucker. Oh, God, I can't stand this." And they get upset, and because they're a people pleaser, meaning everybody on the outside of them, they need that validation, they're not going to show that they're upset, right? So they're going to do things like talk about you to other people, right? And then when it's, because they're going to avoid confrontation, it's passive, right? It's not confrontational. So what Shamia does is passively talk about Porsha. When it gets back to Porsha, that she's talking about their relationship, right? And we know how Porsha likes to control narratives about her relationships. So now that there's a second side being spoken about passively, because I'm not going to take it directly to you, because I avoid confrontation because I'm a people pleaser. And if I confront you directly, then I'm no longer pleasing you, right? Because now you know I'm really upset with you. So how do I get back at you? How do I jab you a little? I go talk about you to other people. And then when they take it to you, now I'm like, I don't even know why they went back to everybody, why they went back to Porsha and told her. See, they don't understand good friendships. And then my question was last night, Shamia, what good friendship are you referring to? Because you and Portia's relationship is not an example of a good friendship. It's really a great example of a unrequited, non-reciprocal woman to woman relationship, and how relationships after a while you're holding on to them out of obligation instead of letting them go, right? It's like holding on to a rose. It looks pretty, but you're bleeding to death, right? The blood you holding the rose on, it looks so pretty. This relationship is so pretty, and the thorns are you bleeding to death. Just blood coming down your arms, right? That's what you're doing, holding on to something just because you've been together, right? Holding on to a relationship is no different from a romantic relationship. Holding on to a relationship because of the time, right? But the quality of the relationship is very poor, right? And you're holding on to the length of time. People do it in marriages all the time. People do it in relationships. That's what I'm saying. When we talk about relationships, it's relationships, girl. You saw Portia say at the end, "Don't break up with me." This is a relationship, girl. We in a relationship, and it's unrequited. It's lopsided. But you're in a relationship with a people pleaser, and when the people pleaser isn't pleased, and they're mad at you, they're going to passively, aggressively come at you. And then when confronted, act confused, like, I don't even know why. Who said what? Did I even say that? I didn't even say that. Yes, you did, Shamila. Yes, you did. You did say that. You absolutely said that. Shamika says that the problem with the group is they don't understand good friendships, because Cynthia said that when I had a problem with one of the women of the group, I just, let things go. Basically, like, I pick my battles. I don't always need to go after you for the way I feel like I've been treated, because I'm a good person, right? This is Cynthia saying, I'm going to treat you the same no matter how you treat me. And honestly, I feel like that is not like a signal. I don't feel like that is the greatest character trait, to still be the same person even though you're being mistreated. No, that's not. I don't feel like that's smart. It sounds good. Like, we say a lot of things in our lives, these cliches and things that we say that sound good, these catchphrases that we say that sound good. But when you actually think about it and get down to it, it actually doesn't, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Yes, to be the core same person. Like, you do something to me, no, I'm not going to do that same exact thing to you, but I'm not going to allow you to keep doing it and then, like, continue to be nice to you because I'm just a nice person. Like, I feel like that's a little toxic positivity happening, and kind of like a little bit of a little self-righteousness, a little bit like I'm better than you type of thing. No, you don't let people mistreat you. You can be a nice person. Like somebody was saying the other day, like, I posted on my stories about Virgos, like, we be nice and sweet and stuff like that, but everybody has a shadow. So to act like, oh, when you mistreat me, I'm just this nice person, so I'ma still be me even though somebody is mistreating you. That don't even sound cute, girl. That don't even sound cute. I said, is Portia and Shamika's relationship an example of a good friendship? So, what good friendship is Shamika referring to that the women don't understand these good friendships? I want to know. See, you got to listen to the things that people say, because who is the good friendship? See, these girls, they don't understand good friendships. Well, we would have to see one to understand it. Can you show us one? Because what you and Portia are demonstrating is not an example of a good friendship. Like I said, it's a perfect example of a bad friendship. It is a perfect example of a bad friendship, and a friendship that two women have been in long after it's expired. It's actually curdling, right? It's becoming cottage cheese out this motherfucker, blue cheese out this motherfucker. It's spoiled. It's spoiled. It should be thrown out, but y'all holding on to it because of the length of time. Even though we've seen time and time and example after example of Portia not showing up, right? We go talk about it later. So Diane and Shamila's mom, they broke up. They were friends. They were best friends. That's how Shamia and Portia became friends, is that their mothers were best friends, but they fell out. We don't know what they fell out about. Shamila was like, no, we're not going there. And then Portia on Sunday morning, I guess after watching the episode, came out and said that you going down the wrong road talking about my mother. I guess because since there was no social media and nothing that can actually prove that they were friends during their whole phases, and somebody I guarantee it, I don't find it any deeper than a man. If we look as far as we go, it's about a man. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I could be wrong. It could be about some money, right? But I feel like based on the characters in the scenario, especially dimwit Diana, mm, yeah, it's about a man. It's about a man. I'm willing to bet, but we could be wrong. But I'm willing to go out on a limb and say it's over a man. It'll come out sooner or later. Cynthia says to Shabia that she wishes to have a relationship like her and Porsha. I want a relationship like you and Porsha. What? So that's what I say. Cynthia be just saying anything, and that's what removes her as kind of like a matriarchal figure. Because while you're the oldest, the like advice that you give or the lack of advice, the quality of advice doesn't match the age of the woman. Like I feel like why would you say that out of your mouth? Like what are you seeing that we're not seeing? Right? What are you seeing that we're not seeing? To the point where even Shamil's like, treat me how we act off camera. What are we talking about? What is this? Why are y'all acting? Porsha is a horrible actress. I don't know if anybody has ever seen her act, but girl, no. She's a horrible actress. Even though she wears a mask the entire time. That last scene with her and all them faces that she was making at Shamia, and I was just looking at the screen like, girl, she don't like you, and you don't like her, and you don't like her. Let's keep it all the way funky, okay? So what happened after that? So yeah, Cynthia said that she wishes that she wants a relationship like Shamia and Porsha, and then she says that she said, and this is like I said, Cynthia, shut up. First, you say you want a relationship like Shamia and Porsha, but then you say the relationship reminds you of you and Nene. How so? I would like some examples. Maybe she talked about it in the after show. I would want to know, how is the relationship reminiscent of hers and Nene? I don't know. I don't get it. So they go bowling. Cynthia, Angela, and Porsha go bowling. When I tell you Portia's ass is so obnoxious.
Have you seen Portia's ass? That ass is not to be contained. That ass needs to be free.
Sometimes I gotta bend the road.
Porsha, I'm not body shaming, but I'm going to talk about her. She's shaped like an S, and she's shaped like she has like in the, remember how the women used to dress, where they would wear a bustle? She looks like she has a bustle in the back, right? It just reminded me every time I see Porsha, and especially last night, I thought of Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny. And remember, there would always be, every now and again, there would be scenes with Yosemite Sam, and there would always be this old grandmother, like a grandmother, an elderly woman, and she would have on like a little hat, a little cute little hat, her little purse, and she would be walking like this, and her bustle would be on the back, and her butt would just, and her bustle would just be moving like that. That is the visual that I have when I see Porsha. It's like a cartoon character, literally. That's what her body is looking like. Sorry. It's literally shaped like an S, because she has her boobs, and then like her back arches, and then her butt goes like that. She like literally is shaped like an S. And I was like, girl. And then I just thought about that little cartoon, that little old lady in the Looney Tunes in the cartoon, and she'd be walking, and her little butt and her little bustle on the back of her dress it'd be high up, her little booty be high, but it's a bustle. It's not her butt, it's a bustle. And Porsha got there, her butt is enormous. It's really big. It is like enormous. So they were playing pool bowling. They were bowling. Angela kept wanting to put the bumpers up so the ball wouldn't go on the side. I like to bowl. Bowling is fun. So they looked like they were having a good time, and then they sat down and tried to have this conversation. And let me see, what was Porsha saying? Mm, oh, she was talking about PJ, and that PJ is looking out of the window like this, waiting for Simon to come home. Porsha will paint a picture, huh? A whole fucking lie. She's waiting for Pop Pop to come home. Some nigga she don't even fucking know. I tell you today, PJ don't know who Simon is. I bet you if you showed her a picture of him, she would be like, I kind of remember that man that my mom was married to and had me running all over the damn globe with her with some man. Girl, I can't wait to PJ write her book. I can't wait. Hopefully, I don't know. I said, so Portia's letting us know she imprinted PJ with abandonment codes. She said that PJ was like, where's Pop Pop? And she was like, she went to call him and she was like, he's my family. And I went to call him. I went to text him and he just left us on red. He just left us on red. I feel no emotional pull when Porsha is emoting. When she's trying to cry, when she's trying to push out tears, I'll be looking at the screen like, for real? Girl, for real? Ralph is trying to come for Drew's LLC. She claims that he makes a lot of money and he works very hard, but she doesn't know why he's coming after her money. She doesn't know too much about his money, but she let us know that he knows a lot about her money and that he is over her money. I don't know. But Drew is saying she supports the kids 100%. And then her mother is saying that he doesn't pay child support. So when he's working very hard, who does Ralph work for? If he works for himself, is he truly making the money? Or I feel what's happening, and this is just a theory, is that Ralph is paying himself out of Drew's whatever Drew gets paid. Ralph pays himself. I don't know what Ralph does, and I don't believe he makes a whole bunch of money. Because I feel like if you make a whole bunch of money, you will go get an apartment. You wouldn't be living downstairs. You're living downstairs because you want to terrorize Drew. Like I said, it would be, you know what I said. His mother's she's on the FaceTime with her mother. You see clips of Drew on the phone with her lawyer. He's trying to take the LLC. The lawyer created another LLC, so now there's some conflict there where they're trying to recuse her lawyer. So that means she'd have to get a new lawyer and basically start all over, basically dwindling more money out of Drew's pockets. The divorce is costing. Her. Okay? So now, not only is it financially draining her, she's being emotionally drained because the energy vampire is actually beneath her. He's beneath her in the basement, draining her. She doesn't know about his money, but he knows all about her money. But she's also under the assumption that he makes a lot of money and that he works very hard. And I said, based on what? I said, is Drew sure that he hasn't been paying himself this whole time out of her money, out of the money that she makes? This thing where you guys, to me, I feel like it's such a weird thing that these churches tell you to allow men to lead, and then you get men like this, and Drew allowed him to lead, and look at what he's doing with it now. She allowed him to lead. She allowed him to be put on her accounts, to have access to her accounts, to see her money, because he's the leader, right? And now look, I don't like it. The mother even called Ralph lying, scheming, and conniving. That's what that's what Drew's mother called Ralph. And the mother is yelling in the FaceTime. He's not giving you a dime. He's lying, scheming, and conniving. That's how your mother is describing your husband. And then later, I'm just going to get Drew out the way. Later, Drew, her mother comes. After that phone call, her mother comes to Atlanta and she's sitting down with Drew and she's telling Drew that the children are misbehaving. She spends the majority of her time telling them, trying to get them to behave. They show clips of Drew and the children being unruly. Remember, I said when she was on the stairs and I think it was the first episode, or when they brought Drew, when they introduced Drew. I don't know if it was the first episode, second, but anyway, remember? And the little girl was standing on the stairs and she was like, "Come on, friend." She was like, "Come on, let me do your hair." I think she was trying to do her hair. And she was like, "Come on, friend." And she was like, I'm gonna count one. And then she was just looking like, she was like, "Anai." And then I said it in my review. I was like, she's playing with her because the cameras are there, right? When they showed the little boy, um, not Josiah, the other, Makai, I think that's his name. He was sitting at the table and she was like, "Say your grace." And he was like, "God." And then she was like, "No, like, come on." And then you could tell. And then he glanced at the camera. So to me, it seems like maybe maybe that not only there's a lot of confusion happening, right? So not only are you filming a television show, but your mom and dad are going through a divorce and they're not even really talking. And when they do talk, they seem to be arguing, right? Um, Kids are affected by divorce, period. They start acting up. Some kids have to be held back in school and stuff like that because they can't focus. There's a lot going on. So it is what it is. Angela sits down and talks to her mom. I'm gonna get back to Drew because I'm trying to go in order. Angela sits down and talks to her mother. Oh my God. um Basically, and Angela's mom died. Y'all, Angela's mom passed away. She made a post last night. I was like, damn. Girl, she talked about running up on Charles because you talking to my child crazy. Like, to me, the way Charles talks to Angela, if I was Angela's friend, it would be hard for me to be like, "Stop. Okay, Charles, we get it." Like, girl, like, ugh, why are you talking to her like that? Why do you seem like you're unsupportive? Why do you seem like you're always on somebody else's side? Why don't you seem like you're on her side, right? Why does it seem like you're always like annoyed when she's talking? That, I hope he's watching it, but those kind of men, they could watch themselves misbehave and treat their wives like shit on television, and he's not necessarily treating her like shit. It's just the relationship dynamic I don't understand, and it seems very, like I said, he plays the devil's advocate. He's always on somebody else's side. He acts like he's annoyed when you're explaining stuff. Like, I've already told you about this already. He doesn't understand, like, we're on camera. We have to talk about these things. You have to talk to me and have to have a dialogue. Otherwise, they're going to clip this entire scene. And maybe that's what he wants, right? It doesn't seem like he wants to be there. And I don't know. It would be hard for me to be around them and him act like that towards her, because I would feel like I would say something even though it's none of my business. And that's what it sounds like her mother did, was something wasn't being cleaned and she went off, and then they haven't talked in like 3 years, so hopefully they were able to reconcile before she died. um but Angela's mom told her she bought another house, and she was like, "Well, I bought you a house. Like, what are you gonna do with the house that I bought you?" Well, basically, it seems like y'all like to hold that over our head. I'm not saying what the mom said, but this is what I was getting from it. Like, you're not gonna be able to tell me that you bought me a house. Your daughter is not gonna be able to tell me that you bought me something. I'm not gonna. I don't want to keep having to hear from your daughter or from you or from Charles or for anyone that you bought something from me. So I'm gonna get my own shit, so nobody can say that they bought me shit. That's what it sounded like to me. But I don't understand the idea of wanting to say that you bought your mother a home, but at the same time, Angela is complaining that it is a extra expense. So if your kind gesture to me is an extra expense that you complain about, then it's not, the energy is off. So take your house back, girl. Get your house. I'm selling it. Because I don't want your daughter saying nothing to me about this is my mom bought you this. I don't want, because it seemed like that daughter has a mouth on her, and she be talking shit, and she probably be saying, my mom bought this for you, like my mom's car, because my mom bought the car for you. Yeah, my mom's car, that's my mom's car because she bought the car. So I'm gonna get in this car. My mom bought this car for you, so I'm gonna jump in the car and use it whenever I want to because my mom bought your car. It doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. So take your car, take your house, and you're not going to be able to say nothing to me. Angela's sister does not want to be on camera. She did not sign a release to have her face shown. They have her name blanked out. I know that's right, bitch. You're not going to make me a storyline. We don't get along for a good goddamn reason. And I'm going to show you just how much we don't get along, bitch. Don't show my face on that motherfucking TV. And don't say my goddamn name. Okay, period. Kelly and Chloe, they go out driving. Girl, I get it. The stress of trying to teach somebody how to drive, girl. Girl, you gotta take an edible before you take somebody, a teenager, to learn how to drive. Cause girl, your nerves. She was not in the lane. I kept saying, that's what I was telling my son. You have to act like everybody on the road got their driver's license yesterday. You don't know when you pull out of your driveway, your garage, and you hit the road. Please understand, you don't know who got their license yesterday, and you don't know who had their license for 20 years. You don't know. So you have to drive like everybody don't know how to drive. Like they don't know how to drive, and you're the only one who knows how to drive. That's why we be talking to people crazy on the road, like they don't know how to drive. Because in my head, and what I've learned is defensive driving, where you feel like everybody else, they don't know how to drive. So I need to make sure I'm watching everybody, because you don't know how to drive, and I don't know when you got your driver's license, right? Because now we on the road with teenagers. You don't know who just started driving. That's how you have to act. So I was with Kelly on that. So the girl, she wants a BMW. She was like, I don't know. She was like, because BMWs are hard to maintain. So I would definitely, a cute little BMW. I thought when she was like, just give me a small little, like a little 300 series, right? Give me a little 300 series. I know that's right. She was like, no. I think what would be cute? I don't know. I feel like Jeeps are cute for girls. I love a Jeep. I feel like she would be cute in like she wants a BMW. She was like, girl, I might give you a little hatchback. What she say, a little Camry, a little hatchback Honda Civic like I had. I know that's right. I had a cabriolet. No, my first car was a Ford Explorer, but then it got repoed, girl, because I couldn't keep up the payments. I said, come get it. Come get it. It's parked outside. Come get it. And then I ended up getting another car. My father gave me two white cabriolets. I was just talking about that the other day. I used to have my top down in my Volkswagen Cabriolet, a little white cabriolet. Girl, please. It was a hand me down, but it got me from A to Z. I just told the story about it. My father, because I didn't know how to drive stick. So my father bought me the car. So when my father bought me the car, my father has given me like 3 cars. Um, but when he bought the car for me, I didn't have a car, so he brought me to his house. I saw the car, and I was like, "Ooh, that might be my car." I was like, "Ooh, that might be my car." So then it's a stick shift, cabriolet's a stick shift. So he was like, "I'm gonna teach you how to drive this. If you could drive this, you can take it. You can have it. I'm gonna teach you. And if you could do it." So we went. I learned how to drive stick in like 10 minutes. Then he lives in Santa Clarita. I lived in Hollywood. So I was like 40 minutes on the highway. Girl, I was just telling my son about that, how I had to learn how to drive a stick. My dad was like, you can have the car if you can drive it. Bitch, I was like, okay, let's go. So I learned how to drive, and then I had to drive home. Girl, I had to figure out how to do the thing. I was like, he was like, just stay in the slow lane. You need to pull over the car, because if you don't push the clutch and change the gear, it'll stall. So, people don't know how to drive stick shifts today, manual shifts. Everybody's in an automatic. Learn how to drive a stick shift. Please learn how to drive. But yeah, so everybody's in automatics. But yeah, that's my little story of learn how to drive. But yeah, my first car was a SUV, and then later I got several different cars after that car. Girl, that was a mess. I had lost my job and everything, girl. So I was a young diva. I was in my 20s when that was going on. But anyway, so yeah, so I understood what Kelly was saying. Like, girl, you're not gonna be having no car because you're not gonna keep it up. You're gonna have to keep it up. You're gonna have to make the payment. See, I take care of myself. You're gonna have to start taking care of yourself. I love how she was like talking to her like that. So I don't know what kind of car they ended up getting her. She just had a birthday the other day. So I guess we'll see what kind of car they ended up getting her. I love the fact that they were playing Delulu when they went into Drew's scene. I was like, that's what's up. That shout out to Bravo for playing Drew's song as they entered her scene. I thought that was so nice. I thought that was really nice. Um, Drew's mom is over there. We touched on that just a little bit ago. Drew's mom comes over and they're in the little sala and drinking champagne. I don't know what they're drinking. Something. Probably not champagne because I think her mother is religious and stuff like that. I know her mother is religious. I don't know what they were drinking, a little mocktail. I don't know. So they're sitting there talking, and she's like, I wanted to come, I wanted to support you. And then Drew is talking about, we get along better as co-parents, and her mother is like, I'm confused, like everybody else is. The mother says, I don't understand, and you could tell the mother was mad. When somebody's mad when they start talking through their teeth, and she was talking through her teeth. Do you hear me? Because that's the type when a attuned caregiver cares about the person that they cared for, their child, offspring, and somebody is fucking with them and they're just downstairs, girl. Baby, I was like, you talking about a Draco. Girl, Ralph, I would make Ralph's life a living hell. I would mirror back the hell that I was feeling from his actions. I would mirror it back to him. He would not want to live beneath me. He would feel like he would have to sleep with one eye open. He would probably put deadbolts on the door to the basement to feel safe. If I were Drew, he wouldn't want to be there. The mother's talking to her teeth, basically saying, I don't understand how he can be a good parent when he's trying to drain your motherfucking pockets. I'm speaking for the mama, right? I'm speaking because she's a pastor. She can't say it like she really want to say it. But I already knew she was upset because she was talking through her teeth like this. You can't tell me that he's a good parent and a good father and he's trying to drain your pockets, my love. That's not, those two things, I don't care what y'all say, cannot exist at the same time. Y'all like to say these niggas is good fathers, but they're mistreating the children's mother. Those things don't go together. They can't exist at the same time. You can't say you care for your children and you're siphoning, actively trying to drain their primary caregiver's pockets. How is she going to take care of the children that you claim you're such a good parent to if you're trying to fuck up her money? How? Tell me how. Tell me how. Ain't nothing but a fucking grift. That's what it is a goddamn grift. And this is what happens, right? That whirlwind romance that Shamia was calling it. This is what Drew is going through. I hope no one is trying to convince her to stay in a relationship with that man. This is how people end up on Snapped. Okay? Girl, why did they pan over? That was the funny shit to me. When the mother was talking about Ralph, they panned over to the dark stairwell down to the fucking basement where that troll lives. Shamia and Porsha, they get in their scene. Shamia basically said, I'm trying to talk to you. I want to talk to you. They come into the scene. Porsha's dress was really cute. She couldn't, her legs was too, so it was too, kept coming loose. It was too small. The dress was too small, but it was cute. Um, Shamia, I don't know. I don't like the way Shamia dressed. She had on some pants that looked like they were stitched together like a baseball, and you like her skin was showing. I don't know. I don't like the way Shamia dresses. But and it's sad that she said she spent a lot of money getting her wardrobe together to film. She was like, I got a new job. I'm about to get my wardrobe together for work. She spent a lot of money. You should have had a stylist help you, honestly, truly. And if you did, fire them. Okay. So, anyways, they sit down. They're at, I guess, a soul food restaurant. That food was looking good. They had wings. It was like wings. It looked like some greens and some macaroni and cheese, and it looked like they had a side of sweet potatoes. Looked like some candied yams. I don't know. It looked good to me. I don't know what that sauce was on those wings. I'm greedy. Mm. I was like, where did they go? What was that place called? I need to see. Because those wings were looking good. The wings, everything, the whole little presentation was looking good. Anyway. So they sit down. Portia's just looking. My right hand is itching. Come on, bring in the money, okay? Um, they just sitting down, and Shamia starts telling Porsha how she feels. Porsha wants to know, tells her the whole thing started because you went back talking about our relationship, basically, and we had already talked about this kind of stuff. Well, did y'all talk about the kind of stuff? Did y'all talk about this? Well, she's like, well, it's not really that I was talking about you, basically. They I'm always sticking up for you, just that people are asking about our relationship because of the way it looks. Um, Shamia said she doesn't that it doesn't that Porsha doesn't like that people can see both sides now, and it's throwing her off, right? Even though Shamia has been on the show, we're not getting a personal story out of her, right? We have a file on Porsha and how she shows up with Shamia, right? When she literally sat right there with Sheree and that hussy Phaedra and allowed Phaedra to start a rumor about Shamia, or to discuss a rumor to say that Shamia and Todd and Candy had a sexual relationship. And she said she doing both. She doing both. She doing both. And then I think Sheree even asked her, what do you think about this? She was like, ooh, they really close. So you adding to it? I think that's actually worse than Shamia saying, yeah, me and Porsha did have some problems. And yeah, it was fucked up and I was pissed off about it, but we're in a better place now. That's how Shamia said that she was saying it to the girls. Porsha is trying to listen to Shamia, and at one point she goes, Shamia says, am I boring you? Like, what is all this, not these non-verbals, right? And then she said, well, Shamia, why are you doing this? Like, why are you trying to argue with me? Why are you doing this for the cameras? They're breaking the fourth wall. Why are you doing this for the cameras? Shamia said, well, Porsha, I would really appreciate it if you can treat me the way that we treat each other when the cameras are not here. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So you're like literally saying that you're acting. And Porsha says, well, Shamia said that Porsha said, well, if they want to see our real relationship, they're going to have to pay me more. So what does a real relationship look like? What is it that we're missing, that we're not seeing, where that y'all are not bringing to the camera? So at one point, Porsha gets up. She runs to the bathroom. I'm okay. I'm okay. You hear her, she's still, okay, you're okay. You're okay. Mic'd up. I'm okay. I'm okay. She comes out. She tries to cry.
Please stop.
I don't even know what I did wrong for you.
A sociopath lacks emotion and empathy. It's impossible. If they're crying, it's because they saw somebody do it and they're just imitating what they saw. That's all. So Porsha goes, Shamia, please. Shamia, please. Shamia, please. Is it working? Shamia, please. Girl, we all looking at you like, Porsha, shut up. Shamia, please. It's really tough. This is just really tough for me. This is just really tough. What's tough? You don't want to talk about the relationship. And I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to do that, right? Because we're filming a television show where basically Porsha doesn't want to make it seem like she's a bad friend. You don't have to. Nobody thinks that you're a bad friend, Porsha. You are demonstrating behavior of a bad friend. So you are a bad friend. Nobody thinks you're a bad friend. We know you're a bad friend. We know you are. And y'all are holding on to a relationship that is long overdue. It's time to hang it up. It's time to put it out its misery. Shamia is afraid to confront, so she goes to other people and talks shit, but then acts like she wasn't talking shit. You were talking shit. Well, the girls have said some horrible things about Porsha. Okay, a lot of people are, because Porsha moves horribly. So people are going to have horrible things to say about her. She's a bitch who has no scruples at all, her and her mama. I can't wait until it comes out, until one of you hoes get mad enough to say what Diane and LaMargaret, what's her name? What's her mama's name? Who's mom? Oh no, that was Angela's mama's name, LaMargaret. What is Shamia's mama's name? I don't remember it. Shout out to LaMargaret. She is transitioned. That was Angela's mom's name. So they're just sitting there talking, and Porsha at one point she gets the silverware. She starts moving the silverware around, and Shamia looks like, girl, like, what are you doing? She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to talk. She's trying to do everything to keep from talking. Well, what do you want me to do, Shamia? I don't want to break up with you, she says at one point. Shamia says, I would really just like that you listen to me, like talking over my music and doing things like that. That's very hurtful. I want to feel like I'm being heard, right? I want you to listen to me when I'm telling you my feelings. When she gets up and leaves, Shamia's just looking like, at one point Shamia was looking at her like, yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. Remember when you told me that if they want to see our real relationship, they're going to have to pay you more? Shamia was like this. Yeah, I'm going there. That's how she was looking at Porsha. Like, there was a lot of nonverbal conversation happening in the way that they looked at each other, girl. They've known each other a long time. Porsha was looking at her like, bitch, don't do this right now. Shamia was looking at her like, bitch, I'm doing it. That was the vibe that I was getting. Y'all let me know what you got from that scene. But what I got from it was Porsha doesn't want to talk about anything about her life. I think she wants to literally give the viewers the most shallow part of her personality. I don't think Porsha is a very deep person. I don't think she's a thinker. I don't think she's any of those things. I think she's a very shallow person. That's where her fan base comes from, is this outward expression. It looks nice, but when it's time to dig deep into the issues of things, she doesn't want to talk about those things. She keeps those private. They don't pay her enough, right? Even though she came back as Porsha Guabadia, remember? But you're not sharing your Guabadia life. Now you don't want to talk about Shamila and the situation. Shamila is just, she already explained what she does. That passive aggressive shit. Now we're in confrontation. And to this day, as we know, they're not cool with each other. They're not cool with each other. So I said, Shamia, what did I say? Shamia said it doesn't feel good when everybody can see both sides. I said maybe Shamia has been playing a long game, not Porsha talking to herself in the bathroom. I think Shamia was playing a long game, and it's so funny because I saw a clip from the after show, and Angela said Shamia was playing the long game. Now, we use the same phrase, but she's saying that Shamia was playing the long game to get on the show. But she got on the show through Candy, not through Porsha, which is another example of why Porsha is not a good friend, right? You know that your friend has been living a housewives lifestyle for the last 10 years, at least for the last 8 years, and you have not recommended her for the show. The recommendation came from Candy Burris. That's another example of how she's not a good friend. Anyway, I feel like Shamia has been playing the long game by exposing the relationship, exposing her side. I'm going to wait until we get both on screen, and I'm going to expose how I feel in this relationship, right? Of course, the women are going to ask you questions about your relationship with Porsha because everybody sees it for what it is. And because we are socialized to hold on to things long after they've expired because of the length of time you've known this person or been in this relationship. So you hold on to it after it's expired, and now y'all resent each other. Y'all really don't talk. Y'all, I don't know if you want to call it a breakup, but y'all need a break. Y'all are not friends. Y'all don't treat each other as friends. Porsha does not treat Shamia as a friend, talking over her, saying that it was Drew, that all that stuff that she did, jumping in the backseat of that Rolls Royce, sitting there while somebody started a rumor about her, knowing that she was engaged. There's a lot of things that Porsha has done to Shamia that all of us can see that it's lopsided, but her people pleasing ass can't see that it's lopsided. But she's not happy with the relationship. She's not happy. She's going to act like she's happy because that pleases Porsha, right? And we know how Porsha acts. If she is not able to control the environment, she acts exactly the way she acted sitting at that table with Shamia. She even tried to cry. Shamia was looking at her like, girl, I've known you since you was 13. Cut the tears off. Flip the switch back up. Cut the tears off, the fake tears, because you can't even squeeze them out. Even your face is fucking frozen. You can't even squeeze the tears out because your face is frozen. She was looking at Shamia like, and then she was like, and with our mothers, how do you think it feels that your mother is always telling you to watch out for me? She was like, I'm just telling you what she said. She kind of had a little smirk on her face. She was like, how do you think that makes me feel? You always telling me that your mom is warning you about me. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Shamia's mom took Diane's man. It's a man in the equation of the breakdown of that friendship. There's a man in the equation. I'm willing to bet you there's a man in the equation. I don't know who took, but somebody had a man and then he didn't have one, and then he was with the other one. So I don't know. But Portia's mother seems like the kind of mother who's always in her daughter's ear telling her, yeah, Shamia's a little jealous of you. You're so cute and all the niggas in Atlanta want you. Simon, what'd she say about Simon? What'd she say about Cordell? What'd she say? She just sits there and pushes her daughter out, and her daughter's out running around Atlanta trying to figure it out. They said Portia's already over there fucking with another married African. Get it how you live, girl. Whatever you want, whatever you need to do to survive, girl. But I don't know. I think we need some pray for PJ buttons or something. Hope for cross your fingers for PJ, girl, because the women she has around her, good God. And we haven't even got a real good grasp on Lauren. We haven't really got a good grasp on Lauren because they sit around, they allow Porsha to behave the way she does. Because I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's a fear or if she's slow. Like they just let her do what she wants to do because she's not. She's not, or they're afraid of her. It's something about it. Something about it that ain't right. Let me go back to my page and make sure I have talked about everything, because that was pretty much the end of the episode. Yeah, I think that's it. Y'all let me know what you think about the episode when Shamia. All I noticed is that, go back and watch the scene when Shamia said, after the mom comment, when Shamia said, "How do you think that makes me feel?" Porsha was like, she's kind of smirked. I would love a body language expert to read Porsha, because she is, I mean, it's clear. I mean, anybody could see it because there was no emotion there. She was like, "What do you want me to do?" She was like, "I want you to, listen to me one time." She was like, "Okay, done. I'm going to do it." Basically, it's like, just tell me what you want me to do. I'm gonna say what I don't want to break up with you, right? I don't want to break up with you. But tell me what I need to do. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And then she takes her hand and she's like, "I don't want to break up with you and this and that. Let's hug." And she was like, let's hug heart to heart. Let's hug heart to heart. Hold on a second. So so that was pretty much the end. They was holding hands, they hugged heart to heart. That didn't mean anything. The other day, Porsha wished Shamia a happy birthday. I was like, they so fake. They don't even realize they're so fake. And in their like, I'm just gonna do this because this is what you're supposed to do type of shit. Right? You don't post her song, but then all of a sudden you wish her a happy birthday. And then 2 days, 3 days later, you on IG cussing her out about this episode. Bye, Porsha. Porsha is whack to me. Always be whack. Shamia is whack too. They one and the same, but we can see like the two different type of personalities and how they operate, right? Also, Porsha doesn't like to have confrontation. I think Portia's being avoidant to confrontation, I think it's because she doesn't have self-control. I think she becomes angry. They even showed her like her hands was moving. Like I think she's not able to control her body when she gets upset. Yeah, and that's why she wants to fight. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think of the episode. I think Shamia and Portia's relationship needs to be put out of its misery. I do. I do. And that's how relationships go. You live your life, and I think a lot of people learn. And that's why it's important to see things like this on television. And unfortunately, Porsha is not. She's not. She's not helping. Like, how could me and Shamia's relationship help other women in their relationship? She's not thinking like that, right? She's not thinking the way that Porsha is acting. People are in relationship with people like that, and we learn to hold on to things long after they've expired to our own detriment. It's not healthy. It's more healthy to let go of something, and even understanding like we don't even have to have a big blowout and fall out, right? We don't have to be in this crazy conflict to understand the relationship is over, and it's best that we move away because we're not giving each other what the other needs. You're not giving me what I need. I give you what you need, Porsha, all the time. You don't give me what I need. And you're not putting any effort into actually correcting it because you really don't care. Some people like to keep folks around them as supply, right? And a people pleaser is a perfect person to keep around you as supply because they're always going to be like, "What do you need me to do? I'm your lap dog," right? I'm a proud lap dog. Like, you really posted that. You are proud of being the lap dog to a sociopath. You have to ask a therapist. I think you should ask a therapist about that, on why you stayed in a relationship long after it was overdue. And the therapist will probably say, because that's how we're socialized. You probably have some issues, abandonment, rejection issues, and you don't want to get rid of her, but she needs to be getting rid of. The way that the mamas dissolve their relationship, it's time for the daughters to do the same thing and break the cycle of staying in relationships long after it's overdue. Period. Anyways, I gotta go. Take care of each other, protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.